talk about these tariffs, man. What's going on with this tariffs?
It's interesting. I've done
Tariffs almost sound like terrorism. Terrorists.
tariffs.
Tariffs. Get them, boys.
It's a really interesting and really strange economic device that has for a long time been a part of our economy, but been really highlighted recently. Obviously, we all know kind of. I mean, I don't want to assume everyone knows, but know how they work in theory, and that's that you're charging companies more money to import goods than it would be to produce those goods here in an effort to stimulate domestic growth, and also collect money. I mean, that's really what it's boiling down to now. Like doing reading in the recent days, most articles are highlighting the fact that it's increasing our trade income, because all of these on these ledgers where they keep track of this money, the income from tariffs offsets a lot of the cost of doing business. So it looks like we're in the green in sort of the trade sector, because of all of this income from these tariffs that are being collected. But what's not as, I mean, maybe it's just the way I was doing my searches, obviously, but what's not as highlighted is the cost to the American people. And honestly, maybe I'm not a typical consumer, but I haven't seen too big of a cost of daily goods in the last 6 months since tariffs have been really on the horizon and stuff.
So what I know about that exact point, which I was going to bring up, would be that most of these companies that did know that tariffs were going to come up in their future, they stockpiled. Mm-hmm. So you're not feeling it yet because the actual price increases haven't come to the consumer yet, because there was a massive stockpiling event that these corporations did, knowing that things
were going to get more expensive
either way.
Yeah, buy them while they're cheap. Yeah.
Yeah. So they not only did they buy them, but they imported them.
Yeah.
And they brought them through customs ahead of time.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But actually, yeah, to get to the bigger, broader point would be nobody back to our point about being in the head of Trump. Yeah. It's like nobody actually knew or knows what this administration is going to do, because they're so wishy-washy on everything.
Yeah.
And they're just flipping and flopping like a fucking fish out of water.
Yeah. Saying one thing, it not working, and immediately doing the opposite. And yeah.
And they've postponed 90 days, like almost, I think it's 3 times already, maybe 4 at this point.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show that, do you take it seriously as a company, or do you not take it seriously as a company? Do you raise prices on consumers now and lose customers before things actually even get rolling? Or do you wait, because it might not happen? Because you're going to lose customers. Like 100% these corporations, if they raise prices, they are going to lose customers. So stalling as long as they can is the most important part to these companies staying afloat.
Yeah, and striving to still maintain a price point, which is kind of, that is in a way the motivation of a tariff, is to try and motivate companies to create things less expensively so that they can maintain that price point and they don't lose those customers. Which I can't say I disagree with in its entirety. I think the messaging is, like you were saying, the wishy-washiness is a really bad way to get anybody on board with anything. And while these companies are smart enough and they have enough people that have done this long enough to work the system as well as they can, and they're going to, no matter what, protect themselves, to get the general population on board, it really takes some. It should have been handled a lot differently. It should have been more of a this is going to be good for you, not just this is going to solve all our problems. Here's the actual breakdown. Like, yes, you might pay more for a computer, but you're going to have a job building computers. Like we're going to employ you here making chips in the United States, or now the pesticides that aren't being created in China to keep our crops from having bugs with no environmental regulation, we're going to bring that to the United States, and our environmental regulation is going to benefit our people because we're not spraying these harmful pesticides on your food anymore. It's going to have to be done the right way.
This is the hardest part about the COVID policies, though. So as they increase the amount of money in the system, in order to not have inflation run away, they needed to increase the interest rates. So they increased the interest rates to make people not get loans, to have money not go out into the system. It doesn't incentivize people to take loans. Now, corporations are also people. We know that.
It's been established.
It's been established.
The science proves it.
So just think that in order to create these manufacturing plants, you would want lower interest rates.
Yeah.
To even incentivize any of these companies to want to build a plant or manufacture here in America. So what's really harming the whole process of tariffs and in general, to me, would be the higher interest rates preventing these corporations from onshoring any of the manufacturing, because they're not going to take out a loan to build at 7%. They want it zero. They want it at fucking as close to zero as possible to build that, to get the loan to build the plant, to employ the people here to build the iPhone or whatever.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
I've been fighting for lower interest rates in my head for a long time. they loan interest rates directly affect me in what I do on a daily basis.
So the problem though is that as interest rates come down, then you're going to actually see inflation go up.
Yeah, I mean, prices of things go up when there's more money in the system. That's the university discussion we were having before, too.
So as there's a tsunami being held back with a dam of in interest rates, the tsunami is about to... They need to open the little gate on the dam and let
relieve
it
some
trickle
pressure
out as slow as possible. But they're fighting the wave of inflation taking off again, which devalues the dollar again as well. Mm-hmm. So there's like, do you crash the fucking dollar to have tariffs and onshore the all the manufacturing, or to bring jobs back here? Or do you just keep it the way that it is and just print
and the cost of goods goes
and
up?
I don't. That's why it's not clear about how it's going to actually shake out to me.
I think providing individuals different interest rate amounts to benefit them more than these giant corporations would probably be a good way. Not to tear down the system too much, but these corporations aren't individuals. They're giant corporations. They can afford a higher interest rate than somebody that needs $100,000 to get their small business off the ground.
But if these corporations take out loans at a higher interest rate, they're going to pass that on to the consumer.
Sure, but we would be able to supplement our income with a loan at a lower rate to be able to afford more as well, and possibly chase our dreams and
It's a debt spiral, though. Everybody's in debt, and then everybody goes deeper and deeper into debt in that scenario that you're
Sure.
unleashing.
Well, I think maybe we could apply that, the business plan model to it as well. Like, prove to me that you need this money and you can do something with it. And tell you what, and hey, I'll tell you what, if you're successful, then we'll readjust the interest rate even further in your favor. If you can prove that you're actually benefiting your community and the economy with the idea that we're spending money on, we can incentivize people to be better, to use their money for good stuff too. Our consumerist policies and our not policies, but our society, where I need a new couch, I'm just going to put it on a credit card, isn't what I'm talking about. I'm more thinking of like, sort of a small business loan interest rate or something like that. But
these interest rates for the small businesses that you're talking about, there's already policies in place at the banks to give loans out to people. They're just getting harder and harder to get that loan.
Yeah.
And most likely it's because of everybody's credit score. Because everybody took out way too much fucking debt, and their credit score has suffered so much that because they've taken out too much that they haven't been able to pay back. And so when they go in for another loan, or when they have another business plan, they're going to have this other thing on their record that says like, don't give this fucking asshole a loan.
Oh, sure. No, you have to protect it. You have to, I think, while credit score, sure. No, you have to protect it. You have to, I think bullshitters are confusing and kind of, in some regards, they are a report card on how you manage your money. Others are confusing and kind of.
Yeah. So that drops that either is because their credit score, quote unquote, is much better than the small business owner or the individual.
Sure.
Because they have shareholders and they have venture capital or whatever money flowing into them to be able to give them a backing outside of government. It could be government too, subsidies and whatnot in the industries. So their loan is almost guaranteed to be paid back. So they get lower interest rates than normal people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah.
So it's hard to flip-flop that or make it where they pay a higher interest rate when it's almost guaranteed that they are going to pay it back.
Yes. No. Yeah. Absolutely. I think there just need to be some penalty on taking anything of value, whether it's money or anything. There needs to be some cost to it. I just that's an interesting struggle, and I guess that's macroeconomics on a overarching term.
The best loan that you can take out is by liking and subscribing. Everybody like and subscribe. We couldn't do it without you, all these fans out there.
We'd still do it,
but
it's better when people are watching.
But grassroots, obviously, like there needs to be like $1 from 1 million people to get you $1 million, versus going to these predatory loan sharks or banks or whatever to get the interest rate. Like you actually have to do like when people would go apprentice and basically work for free, until they got the skills and then they had a trade or whatever. Yeah. It's the same thing with like most businesses. I would say that the most successful ones are going to be in the future. The most successful ones are going to be the ones that don't have to go to get the loan for a certain interest rate, and they actually organically grow these businesses from scratch. Through their friends, family, and community, and then outside broader, the word spreads, word of mouth, and the money comes in without debt.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, from the community, but it's going to be important to instill a sense of giving back to your community also, because you can't expect people to fund you with nothing in return. It's kind of a societal problem that needs to be solved, where it's not as individualistic as it's become, because it's my credit score and it's my debt and it's my profit, and not seeing that, oh no, this profit and this income is coming from people in my community. I need to be able to support them too. I feel like takes a back seat. You even like talking about it, you become sort of like, oh, he wants to give out charity and stuff like that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying provide services and provide business to the people that are giving you their money in a way that helps them and boosts their lives and makes their lives better, on a smaller scale. These, sort of the giant corporation aspect of, all that money going to a few people is kind of toxic inherently. And I think everybody, not just giant corporations, but they should take on a little bit more of a community first. I know America first is like a big thing right now, but what about like, community first? Like, let's make sure our neighbors are doing well. And then there's going to be a company that starts up in your community where they have jobs, and then those employees are taken well care of by their employer. And then that employer is taken well care of by their lenders or whoever they rely on to do good business. Instead of just take all the time. Like, no, I need you to work more hours for less pay because we're farming people from wherever, another country. I need you to work harder for less, and we need to see the profits and not you as the individual.
Well, the only way to get there that I can see is by having things go deflationary. So, your dollar grows in value, so you don't have to use as many of them to pay for the things that you want. Because right now, the way that things are going is inflationary. And so you have to run faster and faster on the treadmill. And if you don't, you get thrown off.
Yeah.
So things are getting very individualistic because of the fact that you're going on this treadmill as fast as you can, and things are getting fat. The dial is getting turned up faster and faster every single day. Mm-hmm. And so if things were actually made to be let go down in price, like they should be, then you could have this more, or you could have this more community-based, basically everybody needs to either boycott or, shrink your consumption.
Yeah.
And once you shrink your consumption, the prices will have to go down in order to give people the need to go out and spend their money. And when they do that, when things get cheaper, when your dollar goes further, then you can make smaller businesses work. Yeah. Because right now, the only way things are working is if you grow like as fast as possible.
That's an interesting point, and it reminds me of something that I witnessed where I moved here to Michigan. I had some family that worked for Kellogg's, and one really cool thing that they did was they had a Kellogg's company store. But it's not that they're trying to get you to spend the money that they just gave you. Everything's heavily, heavily discounted for people in that town, in that community. And I think if you're working at a company and you're giving them your time, which is really the ultimate resource for every human, there needs to be an incentive to grow that business. It's kind of like a profit sharing. It's a very simple way of profit sharing, right? And I just think that profit sharing is a really great way to incentivize people to work for your company, to grow it, to be invested in seeing it get better, but also get benefits from it growing and doing really well. Even the janitor that's only worked there for a year, he's getting the benefits from it. It's not this, the CEO and the COO and people that are reaping the benefits of their profits. Obviously, a company store is a very rudimentary way to do that. Really, it would be better if there were stock options and things like that, which they have too. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a huge company. I'm sure they have all that stuff. But I feel like that's kind of those are the kinds of things that are going away too, is sort of that workforce ownership of these giant corporations.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't in a giant corporation. I was in construction for a while, and we had ESOP, which was a employee ownership stock program.
Yeah.
Basically, your time equaled shares in the company,
Mm-hmm.
and on the back end, the fund, part of the profit from this construction company went into a fund that invested
Mm-hmm.
that money. So their goal was to grow that money over time, so the share price goes up in value.
Yeah.
And you didn't have the problem with all these things like that is that they're made for you to retire.
Yes.
Like, they're made for you to wait until you're 65.
Yeah.
And then you get to pull
That's
out
every
all your
401k.
money.
Yeah.
And you have your 401k, and then you have your ESOP, and then you combine those two and you have a great retirement. The problem is that they pay you dog shit along the way.
Yeah.
and
with this promise
with the promise. And hopefully the business doesn't go under.
Yeah. Yeah. Or hopefully the stock market doesn't crash and your $1 million
Exactly.
that you had in your 401k is now worth $300,000 and you can't retire
Exactly.
on that much. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where, like, if there was some way of the money purchasing power growing versus, on a day-to-day base, on a yearly basis, it'd be better it would be better than 401k. It would be better than stock options. It would be better than all this stuff, because the money that you actually
it'd be a weekly
save,
payout from them.
Huh?
It would be like a weekly or monthly bonus structure kind of payout where, every week I got an extra $100 or more.
Because the value of your money is going up.
Yeah, because you're making the company money by doing your job, and they're handing that out in real time, and your purchasing power is increasing because you just have a little bit more of the money. And also it would serve on the back end to reduce inflation, just due to the fact that these giant 401ks and things like that are another form of that university money laundering cycle, where the money's arbitrary to them. It's just a number that they can make up on a whim.
Yeah. And these people saving the money, if the quantity of money goes down, let's just say, the number of paper dollars that you need to buy goods goes down, then and the value of it goes up. That means that you're going to save that money in a bank somewhere. Mm-hmm. Well, that bank is the company store, if you will.
Sure.
And they are investing that money into local community or local businesses, small businesses, in the form of loans, which regulates the issuance of new currency.
Yeah.
So new currency is only going to be created on a bank level, versus the federal government level or the broader, bigger money printer.
And a more local banking system, you were saying, like it would still be privatized because we don't want to give them the control to the government, but
exactly.
But a smaller scale, community based, which I'm part of a credit union. Like I like the small bank idea. Also, big banks have fucked me over in the past, but and they fucked everyone over in the past. So I think that's a pretty big group.
Yeah.
But yeah, keeping that money as local as possible is going to benefit your day-to-day life a lot more than giving it to a giant national corporation or the government itself.